rate, Dr. Dantzler pretty much decided that the process wasn't all that efficient and was time consuming and frustrating, and so he sought approval to do as a licensed attorney would do, and to submit the filings for the Washington, D.C. case electronically over the PACER system. And that request was approved. And we're going to be providing documentation of quite a few motions that have been filed, but I'll just lay the preliminary groundwork, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Dantzler to elaborate further. As I understand it, your case was originally assigned to Judge, is it Lambeth, I believe is the case?
Judge Ron C. Lambert.
Okay, yes, Lambert, okay, my bad on the exact pronunciation. But at any rate, for some reason or another, there was a transfer of this case to Judge McFadden. And I don't believe that's exactly what you wanted to transpire. I'll let him speak for himself on that. But at any rate, what he has brought me up to speed on, and you're going to see these filings be as recently, today, the day that we're filming this is Tuesday, October the 20th. You'll see that these filings are so recent, both on October the 16th, which was Friday, and as recently as yesterday. Judge McFadden, once he got the case, there was, excuse me, a motion filed by attorneys of the Tangipahoa Parish School Board, and yeah, here's the motion to reassign, and that was granted. And then, as I understand it, and we're going to give the minute entries for all of this so that you can easily follow, but yeah, motion to dismiss. Thank you. He's got it pretty well together here. And so the Tangipahoa Parish School Board, it says, by and through this undersigned council pursuant to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and so the school board defendants, and basically they're excuse me, seeking a motion to dismiss, and they provide the proposed order. You'll have to forgive me, I'm having a little bit of a sinus infection. And I believe the last minute entry I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, but did McFadden go ahead and grant that, or?
Right, it was granted. It was granted that day. It was granted.
On, well, they say, that one says that they have until November 18th
to respond. Right,
so
that's right.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to let him go ahead and elaborate, because he feels like that some things just haven't been proper in all of this. I can vouch for him in terms of what the post office told him, because he was trying to perfect service through the U.S. mail. And I believe you tried to get the marshal's office involved at one point, and they denied your ability to do that. So let me go ahead and let him take over. And if you need me to read anything in or anything, I'm struggling with one eye. My left eye is giving me a little bit of problems, but my right eye is okay. So if he needs me to read anything into the record, I say into the record, we're not in court, but I'll be happy to do that. So I'm going to turn it over to you and let you, basically expand upon why you're so frustrated at this point.
Again, good evening, my brother and sister. Most of y'all know me, Dr. Oscar Dantzler Jr. here. I'm a long-time employee with the Tangipahoa Parish School System, and I also was a gubernatorial candidate for the 2019 election. I ran the Democrat against the incumbent John Bell Edward. When I filed the EEOC complaint, law in New Orleans, United States EEOC office, some kind of way, the office of the governor received my complaint and my charge against the Tangipahoa Parish School System without my knowledge. I never received no calls from neither office, EEOC office. I never received no type of investigation. They never met with me. They dodged me. I sent certified mail through multiplication channels. I never received no type of from neither office. I think that was bad. They denied my due process investigation of the matter. And last but not least, Mr. Byrne, like I said, I'm glad to have you again in your presence, Mr. Byrne. And I'm glad that I have somebody that can hear, hear my crowd, people that hear now that I have tried to serve the office of the governor, all of his employees that orchestrated this conspiracy that I alleged in my lawsuit through my EEOC chart. And I strongly believe all of those individuals that aided the Governor Edwards in his office of the Louisiana Commission on Human Rights Office, they should not be able to dodge a service. This is a public building. This is the EOC office where the public come in and log complaint, and which is open. Now, I need to say this here first, Mr. Byrne, that how can your governor mandate all the schools in the state of Louisiana be open beginning of the phase of the COVID-19, okay? Now, but he remained, his office is open, but it's not allowing no public to come in to file a complaint. Not only that, they refused to even accept my complaint, even accept the lawsuit filed, against them, and I think that's very wrong. And last but not least, Mr. Byrne, I'm gonna break down that they are dodging service. I personally went by the United States Post Offices in several locations. I talked to managers there, and they kept giving me bull crap, run around. We figured out that they was lying, woochie. So finally, after that, I even tried personal service to have them serve at the facility, which is a physical address off the main highway off the 23rd Street, and the security there advised they could not let no one into the building to serve no one. And I think that's very is not proper, because that's a public building. How come all the workers are still working every day? You could even call the reception to come to the door to receive service. People, I think it's injustice, because I allege that the office of the governor is the one that consecrated this whole conspiracy against me, because I ran against him. And about the governors being from the Tampa Parish area, and over the school board, the Tampa Parish school system, so I think it's very bad. Now, after all of this went down, I made police report was filed. I sent letters out to the United States Postal Service in various locations, to the management there, the post manager there, to let them know what was going on. I never received a call back, from no one at the post office concerning my certified mail. And since then, I went on and I sent a complaint to the United States FBI concerning mail fraud, obstruction of justice of mail fraud, of mail delivery. Then I also filed a complaint with the U.S. attorney, out of New Orleans, to oversee a criminal activity like this. I yet to get a response back. After all of that I've done everything that I can do, Mr. Byrne, it led me up. I then filed a motion to compel the court to order the United States Marshal to serve the office of the government and his employees. However, Mr. Byrne, I want the public to see that here is a copy of the email link that I sent, in which I just want to back up a minute, Mr. Byrne, where they can understand that here, that notice was given to me from the court, a notice of electronic filing, meaning order the Judge Lambert, I want y'all to hear this, Judge Lambert granted me the motion to ECM to file.
Yes.
All of my documents, just like attorneys, because prior my mail was being open, I wasn't receiving documents from the court, whatever, because of the mail carrier. I don't know if they on payroll, been paid or what, but a lot of my mail, when I was not received, maybe 10 or 15 days later, they was being open, and I think that was very wrong on the mail carrier part. So this judge did grant me to right to file all my stuff electronically. And here's the one copy of an email address here that I emailed to the court, attached documents filed on record, which is the motion to compel, which was filed and emailed on October the 2nd, 2020 at 9:34 a.m. in the United States District Court of Columbus. And however, this here is a copy of the motion right here, letter addressed to the court, asking them to file this in the court record and present it to the Judge Lambert. However, this motion and documents was never entered into the court record at all. According to, again, we have a Miranda docket sheet here, Mr. Barnes.
The minutes,
We have a direct, we can be entered into the court record if you please. Right here, this is the direct minute sheet here, docket sheet, that all attorneys, that they can view document on paper and print out all the activity that was transpired on the particular case. Here, we're just going to go through a few of these here that notice only, Mr. Brown, I want to point it out and we can give you for submission that I filed the motion to compel email was on October the 2nd, 2020.
which was a Friday.
It was a Friday. Now, however, this is the docket sheet that all documentation is filed and emptied by the clerk of court office. Now, it's nowhere on here showing October the 2nd, 2020. Is that right, Mr. Barnes?
That's correct.
That my motion to compel the United States Department of Justice to issue, to serve the office of the governor and his employees. However, shortly thereafter, there is a date, October the 5th, 2020, when they did receive and file another motion that I filed, a motion to amend. So, however, how did they receive this motion and they never received and docket my motion to compel? Okay? Now, on down the docket, law in the 10/14, 2020, notice of appearance, the U.S. Attorney, a new U.S. Attorney enrolled as counsel and filed a motion in the court, and the motion he filed in the court here was a motion he filed first to reassign my case from Judge Lambert
To Judge McFadden.
to Judge McFadden. However, it should be noticed that Judge McFadden, he denied me to file electronically.
Oh.
He denied me to file electronically like Judge Lambert did. However, that means my documentation was continue to have to go into the mail or whatever, okay? Now, shortly after that, the U.S. Attorney filed the documentation here on the 14th for appearance, and they filed for to reassign the civil case here, which was granted. They filed it on the 14th, and the 15th, I told Mr. Byrne, it was granted.
Granted.
That my case was taken from Judge Lambert and issued to Judge Fatman. And however, it should be noticed here also that I did talk to the U.S. Attorney, and I advised him, I'm going to read his statement here. He stated that the parties have confirmed by telephone pursuit to local rule 7M. Plaintiff have indicated that he wants both cases to proceed before the Honorable Ross C. Lambert, a physician, a federal defendant construed as an opposition to this request. However, the school board defendant did not oppose this transfer. So, however, the judge here committed from the United States District Court here, the chairman of the calendar case management committee they granted the U.S. Attorney the right and turned my case over to Judge Fatman. People, I was against that. I told them that I felt comfortable that my case would have stayed before Judge Lambert or whatever. But anyway, my case continued on to Judge Fatman. So shortly thereafter again, here's the docket sheet from the 14th, 15th on down. Everything is rendered in my defendants' word in their hand. Everything is being in favor towards them. And a minute order was dated October the 15th, Mr. Byrne, 2020, stating that denying without prejudice plaintiff motion to leave to file my amended complaint. Now, he did not get this order signed until the 15th. Is that right, Mr. Byrne?
That's right. That's Thursday.
Okay, now, my motion to amend was filed and entered on October the 5th. Is that right, Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
So now, apparently the clerk should have taken this other motion to Judge Lambert to see what Judge Lambert had to say. But instead of taking this particular motion to Judge Lambert, Judge Fatman got this particular motion and he denied this motion in spite that it was sent to my other case docket number 2020-1629, which he did not preside over this case. Now I strongly believe that this also is a conflict of interest then on what I believe, because if he had that much authority to step into another court domain and deny a motion without that honorable judge knowing about it, I think then something is wrong with the justice system. This is why every case that is filed have to be assigned to a certain judge. Am I right, Mr. Byrne? Okay, now, this is where we at today. Here, the motion order defendant, Judge Fatman has granted everything in favor to the Tampa Parish School, ruled on their favor, granted against me. The United States Attorney Office, the FBI, all of them, they granted in favor to them, but my issues of my orders and my motion have been denied. According to Judge Fatman, denied my motion. He reset the deadline. Now for me, he said that I have to file due by November the 5th.
Yep.
November the 5th, he's saying that I have to file now all these pleas against all these oppositions, what the U.S. Attorney that filed against me, the school board that filed against me, the NAACP that filed against me. People, I'm not a licensed attorney. I don't have the knowledge to fight up against the U.S. Attorney, the school board attorneys that they have enrolled in Washington, D.C. All of these attorneys that they have is based out of Washington, D.C., District of Columbus. So again, I have sought help from the local NAACP. They refused to help me give me representation as a member. I have sought legal representation from Al Sharpton, Action National Network. They refused to help me. Civil rights organization that based up there in the similar states and other civil rights organizations. People, my hands are tied. I stand for justice, and I'm asking the people and the public to look and see what's going on here with my case. I'm a fighter, and I stand up against injustice. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Again, Mr. Byrne, if you want to enlighten, come on with something else, feel free.
All righty. Well, you've certainly stated your case pretty emphatically, and we will supply documentation, including all of the entries that have taken place in the court.